There's a difference between unethical projects and uncomfortable ones. If a project violates your ethics, walk away. Always, 100% of the time. But if it only hurts your ego, that's something else. Welcome to Design Unhinged. I'm Pat. I've spent over a decade learning to love projects that didn't love me back. And this video is about something design culture rarely admits. Sometimes the thing holding you back isn't the project, it's you. Designers love to believe that we're objective, but most of us care deeply about how our work reflects us. We want exciting projects, trendy, progressive, portfolio-worthy. We want creative freedom, aesthetic alignment, something we can point at and say, that's me. And that's not wrong, but it becomes dangerous when identity starts driving decisions. Because reality does not always cooperate. Sometimes the project is at heavy industry. Sometimes the interface is small, constrained, regulated, and old. Sometimes the users are not aspirational, they're very practical. And sometimes the system exists in a domain that will never trend on LinkedIn. And when the project doesn't match your taste, something subtle happens. The ego resists. You disengage, you go shallow, you quietly blame constraints. You try to inject aesthetic identity where context doesn't allow it. The work becomes smaller because you made it about you. The problem is not the project. It's that you're treating it like a reflection of yourself instead of a system to improve. I once worked on a heavy industry project. At the time, I wanted to work on flashy, progressive topics, things that felt modern and visible. Instead, I was assigned to a device buried deep inside an industrial system. It was technologically dense, the screen size constraints were brutal, the interaction surface, well, it was limited. Nothing about the project felt cool. I had two options. Treat it like a burden, or treat it like a domain worth understanding. I chose the second, not because I was inspired, because I realized something important. If I only show up fully for projects that flatter my taste, I am not a damn professional. I'm a hobbyist with opinions. So I leaned in, and what I discovered changed my perspective and my career. The device we were working on had measurable impact on emission reduction at an industry scale. It wasn't sexy. It was really significant. Sure, there were constraints. We had to rethink the interface from the first principles. We rebuilt it using newer technologies that enabled better interaction inside those limitations. The constraints did not shrink the work, they sharpened it. If I had approached that project with ego, with a "this isn't cool enough for me" energy, I would have missed the impact entirely. Designing objectively means removing personal taste from priority. It means loving the problem more than the aesthetic. And let's be clear, this is not about compromising ethics. It's about not confusing taste with morality. Now let's take a quick pause. If you care about design being more than vibes and trends, about it actually being meaningful, subscribing generally helps this channel grow. Alright, let's continue. Here's my protocol, not just some philosophy, the actual method I use. When a project feels boring, ugly, constrained, or just not you, do this before you touch Figma, and definitely before you start improving anything. Step 1. Name what's actually bothering you. Say it plainly. Is it the domain, the aesthetics, the user group, the constraints, the pace, or the stakeholder's taste? If you cannot name it, you'll design around your irritation instead of around the problem. Step 2. Separate taste from the truth. Ask yourself, what part of my reaction is preference and what part is user impact? Because I don't like it is not a design principle. Step 3. Translate constraints into design inputs. Instead of fighting constraints, convert them. Small screen, then hierarchy and interaction economy matter more. Harsh environment, then legibility and error recovery matter more. Regulation, well then you need to look at clarity, traceability and predictability. Constraints do not make the work smaller. they tell you what kind of quality matters. Step 4. Earn the curiosity before you make any opinions. If you catch yourself thinking, this sucks, you haven't learned the domain yet. Your job is to get, oh, that's why. A simple rule: if you cannot explain why the system is the way it is, you're not ready to redesign it. Step 5. Redefine good in the language of the context. Portfolio good is optional. Operational good is not. In our example from heavy industry, good often means fewer errors, faster recovery, clearer decisions under stress, better safety, and smoother continuing operations. That's the part that our ego hates, because nobody claps for a workflow that prevents mistakes. But the end users will feel it every day. This is the bottom line. As a designer, you should create value even when the project feels boring. You need to separate identity from deliverables. Solve the client's problem. Don't perform your own bullshit. If you can only design what excites you, you're not designing for impact, you're designing for yourself. And design at its best is not about you, it's about what changes because of the work. This is the difference between taste and professional responsibility. So, design is not vibes. It's not trend alignment. It's not aesthetic self-expression disguised as strategy. Design is context, responsibility, value, impact, and clarity within constraints. The most meaningful projects in your career might not be the most glamorous ones. They might be the ones that forced you to grow past your ego. And real professionals don't design for validation, they design for consequences. If this video made you rethink your relationship with your work, give me a subscription. And go in the comment section and tell me about the project you didn't expect to love, but you did. Because here on Design Unhinged, we don't just design what looks good, we design what matters.